Hey guys, I think we're live.
Hiya. We are live. They've been anxiously waiting in the comments. I told them we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got
Yeah,
it fixed.
so this happens, but we got it fixed. Who? And I'm seeing like I'm getting like really bright reflections from the screen I'm looking at. So today we are following up on our interview that we did a couple of weeks ago. Okay,
Yeah.
first let me see here. All the comments. I'm so sorry. Like we had this hiccups happen.
Oh, they do.
Um,
Welcome to
Masha
technology. It's so much fun.
Masha says I checked two links on Stevia and they aren't working. Page not found. What?
Yeah,
This?
yeah, they're not working for some reason. It says that they are gone for some reason. Of course, because who wants to the stevia companies don't want you to know that it causes insulin release. No, so I went out and found another one of them. And I did post it in the comments. It's from another, it's just another educational website that I found one of them on. Uh, but I'll have to go and kind of see if I can find the other ones. Yeah, it says the link's broken. I think it just got pulled, probably. Somebody got mad.
An element? Oh
No,
no,
it wasn't
Stevia.
the element. It was the about the stevia links, like the scientific studies on stevia. Those two links in the description. So I did put a different one in the comments. I'm sorry, Rush. We broke it. I know, right? Rush is saying we broke it.
Well, there's also Stevia an element. An element, I just heard someone on social media say there's maltodextrin in it.
Maltodextrin. There is maltodextrin in it, and it is
Like a
the it
super
is
tiny
4
amount. It's just
milligrams. 4 milligrams. That's
okay,
it.
so how
So
much of a gram is 4 milligrams? That's like zero point
point
zero
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 point zero
four
zero four. Yeah.
grams.
Yeah.
Let's do that in kilograms. 0 point. No.
So it's not even enough to get to 1 gram of carbohydrates. So people need to kind of take a step back. It is a flavor carrier. So that's uh, like almost anybody who uses flavors, natural flavors, uses maltodextrin as a binder because it's freaking cheap. The only one that does not is salty from Keto Chow because they use a different binder. They use acacia gum instead. So you are trading one binder for another. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So it also there's no they use I think they use malic acid in salty too instead of using citric acid. So uh, so there's some differences there. But yeah, maltodextrin it's in Redmond's also.
Okay, I
Um,
didn't know that. This the salty kind?
no,
Like the salty.
salty is keto chow.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
then
keto,
Redmond's
right?
has Relight, and they also use the maltodextrin as a
Minimal
flavor
amounts.
carrier. Zero, it's this about the same. It's like 4 milligrams, which is 0.004 grams.
Oh, neat.
So you would have
Yeah.
to drink a whole lot of it, a whole lot. And I don't think anybody is drinking that many. If people are drinking that many packets of element, we need to have a conversation about why they're drinking that many packets of element because that'd be like at least 100, at least, or like be a lot. Do my math for me. I don't math fast or well.
Yes.
So
So, let's see. Oh, the studies links. Jan says hello from Nev from NE, Ohio. Uh,
Northeast Ohio.
oh, okay. How's the power situation? Is there something going on in Ohio?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about. Listen, I don't listen to the news because it all sucks.
That's right. And so Ellen says no. Oh no, Jen says she's on oxygen, so that may be an issue. Yeah,
Yeah, it is for Jan because she's on oxygen. So yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm trying to get this bigger. Okay, and now I can
Thank you,
see it.
Dennis, for the mathing for me. I appreciate it. My buddy Dennis. Oh, there was a tornado in Ohio. Ooh,
Okay,
that's
that sounds
crazy.
good.
That's actually really crazy because it's Ohio. There's enough mountains in Ohio, at least on the eastern side, to break it up.
Okay, let's
You
see.
can ask questions. That's what this is about, Wendy. This
I
is
have to look to the side.
these are our question. This is a question and answer session.
Let's
Oh yeah,
try
just put
this.
cues. Oh, hi. That's so much better. Do cues.
Yes.
Do triple cues before your question. That way it's super easy for us to see it, and it's so much easier, it's
On your
easier.
screen, am I looking away from you or toward you?
You're looking a little bit away from me because I know you do the double screen thingies and like everything is like different for you.
Yeah, no, I should really
I'm
switch
not
the camera over
technical. I
next
have a
time.
laptop and earbuds
I try to put
and
it
a ring light.
on the other one. Oh yeah, ring light is good. So okay, here. I was okay. No worries, no kidding. California. Susanna's watching from California. Okay, that was before we were here. Technical difficulties. So I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Hello. Terry says hello from Ramona, California. Hey, Terry. Okay, thanks for
I'm gonna sit crisscross applesauce because it makes me happy. Actually, it just
Oh yeah,
makes me
I'm
okay.
gonna put my knees up now too.
I
Tina
drive
says
with my
hello.
knee up. It's really funny.
I mean, this is the thing though. Even if you're sitting in a chair, you should constantly be moving. You should not be in a
Yep.
position for more than half an hour.
I will be driving and people see me and I'm like this, guys. I'm like driving with my foot up like this. And it's because like I can't sit there for too long. We do have a question if you scroll all the way down. So Miss Wendy, if you wanna, I know that you can
Okay,
highlight them and put them across the screen.
Betsy says hello. Susanna says hello, coaches. Karen says hello, ladies. And I just don't
Hola.
want to miss anything before we go down to the questions. Okay, question there. Dr. Berry recommended iodine. Roxana sent me a link. I purchased it, but don't know how many drops I should take. So I'm gonna say my experience was that Dr. Berry said like put 2 drops into a coffee, and sometimes you can drink 2 or 3 coffees and you can still use them. I took my labs. So I went to ownyourlabs.com and checked my iodine level, and it creeped up, and then it went above the recommended range. So I found my dose best to be 2 drops one day, 1 drop the next day, and so on. It was kind of like every other day. And also important, if you take the drops, it means single drops. It does like here, single
Not a
drops. It doesn't
dropper.
mean a dropper full because that's like way too much.
Yeah. And and I take 6.25 milligrams, which is a lot of drops. But I get the pills and I break them in half. I get the 12.5s and break them in half. And that's where I feel where everything feels the best for me. Because I went off feeling I didn't do my testing. I should do testing, but I didn't.
Yeah. Let's see the next text. Oh yeah, we should stop whining about Metro Jackson element.
And a real strawberry. Oh, he put the ingredients in a real strawberry next.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
let's see that.
Cyanidin 3 glucoside. Pelargonidin 3 glucoside. Oh, this sounds great. Quercetin. Oh, I didn't know the strawberries had quercetin in it.
That's supposed to be good for the immune system, right?
It is. You people also take it. It's in a lot of pre-workouts. It's in a lot of pre-workout supplements. Quercetin and beta alanine. One of those makes your face itch, though. So I think that might be beta-alanine.
Okay, so let's see the next question. I'm going to set my camera on the other side and I hope I won't lose you.
No, you're good.
Lloyd says, any dextrin and dextrose will end my wife. Allergic to corn.
Allergic to corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's where they typically get it from, is the corn.
Betsy says, hey, Roxana, see you in under 2 weeks. I can hardly wait.
Oh.
So actually tomorrow I'm going to take off for San Diego and spend there for low carb USA.
Mhm.
They still have open spots. If you use the discount code Coach Roxana, you can get I think 15% off the price.
I'll
If you
have to check
just,
in.
yeah, you can purchase the recordings afterwards, but you can also purchase the recordings now and watch it live as it happens. And the advantage is that you can ask questions. So the most questions come from the audience that's there live, like in San Diego. But they
Mhm.
also take questions from the online viewers, and I'm not getting anything. That's the 15% that just the people get who use my code. They just gave me the code because I asked for it. I'm not making money on that.
It's too bad. You should get money for it.
I think I should. Yes.
Everybody that promotes things, I think that like Dr. Barry and Nisha, when they go to something, they're like, oh, put in PhD, like, and you get $20 off. They should get a percentage of that just for like, thank you for referring people. Like, that's how it should work.
Okay, so 700 drops, like of what?
Rush, are you saying that I'm taking 700 drops at 6.25 milligrams?
Okay, we'll see.
Or is he
about
being
that.
or is he being facetious? He's I don't know how to take him sometimes. I love you, Rush.
Karen says, does iodine cause muscle or joint pain?
Mm-mm. No, usually for me, this is what a lot of women have noticed, that especially if you have lumpy, bumpy boobs, so that's the technical term is fibrocystic breasts, they will start doing iodine and they'll notice that those lumpy, bumpy, painful, sore breasts kind of go away. So typically, no, you do not. That doesn't happen.
And the other thing is that the body, every cell in the body needs iodine.
Iodine.
So
Mhm.
you cannot
Which is
just
what
not.
is that just drives me nuts, because I think about the people like that have had cancer, like thyroid cancer, and they give them radioactive iodine to kill the cancer, because it does, and it works really well. But then you go back and you think, like, how many women who have had thyroid cancer had their thyroid killed by radioactive iodine and have later been positive for breast cancer?
Yeah, kind of scary when you think about it.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
Question by, if I skip anyone's questions, let me know. I'm not purposefully doing that. Amy says, first, hi, Amy. So since diabetes is a result of consuming carbs, if your family member has diabetes, does that mean you will get diabetes even if you are a low carb person? Does it depend on the type they have? Okay, so first there's two types, or there's like a few types of diabetes. One, the major differences are type 1, or the most common, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is an autoimmune disease where the body or the immune system attacks the islet cells in the pancreas and just like destroys them, and they can't make any more insulin. Type 1s are insulin deficient quickly. Kids within weeks, and adults, it's called ladder for adults. It can take months or even years. And then also depending on what they eat, they can even delay like needing insulin for quite some time. But type 2 is, I just read that like recently, there is an obesity gene, and about 50% of the population has it. It means that these people fatten easily. So they eat too many carbs. It's not really the carbs, it's really the junk food, the ultra processed foods, the seed oils.
And probably an
Um,
overreact I wonder if it's an overreaction to them too. It's like the body's like, "Oh, you ate this," and person
over
A
time,
without the
yeah,
gene, like person A with the gene decide like eats a apple and they dump 2 units of insulin. We're being hypothetical here. Person
yep.
B with the gene dumps 6 units of insulin for that apple because I wonder if that like if there's a correlation.
Yeah, I think so. So, especially like when they eat 6, 7 times a day, then the
Mhm.
insulin is chronically elevated and then goes up, up, up. The cells will shut. Um, the insulin signal becomes lower, so they have to put there has to be more insulin until the pancreas maxes out. It
Mhm.
cannot make enough insulin to shove the sugar or into the cells, and then these people need to go on insulin. That was the case for me. I was maxed out. My pancreas didn't just die. It didn't just stop making insulin, but it was maxed out. And then I had to add 50 units of insulin. And I just thought, okay, this is the way it is. You're type 2
Mhm.
diabetic. Now, first you go on metformin, and now you're on insulin. And then the doctor said the next thing will be mealtime insulin. And I would have been probably on 150 units or so a day. Now I'm off insulin, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
So,
that on one of the parts of her question, you know, my dad has diabetes, or dad did. He's dead now, but he had diabetes. My brother has type 2 diabetes. I don't have type 2 diabetes. The difference, I don't eat junk. I don't eat carbs. What do they eat? Or did dad eat? Like he wanted all the things. He wanted, honey buns and ice cream and donuts and this is what he ate. And yeah, I mean, genetics might load the gun, but lifestyle
yes,
pulls the trigger. And I've heard so many low carbers say that, and it is true. And, yeah, I mean, you just look at, like my family, I'm not, my insulin's kind of low. Well, it's in the single digits. I'll take it, but it's like, I think it's important to know that you can still fight genes. You can turn them on and off. And I think that that's
absolutely.
important.
And the other thing, if people eat a whole food diet and
Mhm.
it can contain carbs, let's say 150 grams carbs a day,
Yeah.
they're maybe not all of them are going to get sick. It's a If you leave out the junk food, you're going to be okay. But if you incorporate the junk food, then eventually you're not going to be okay. So before you get sick, there's a lot of dietary choices you have. Like you can follow a paleo diet, you can follow
Primal,
even a whole
paleo.
food plant-based diet. I
Yeah.
don't like liquid. There's a lot of things you can do. But once you get sick, keto has been proven to be superior over all other diets in not just
Yep.
reversing type 2 diabetes, but also how quickly it reverses type 2 diabetes. And it's not going to just
Ye
bring your A1C, let's say, to 6.1 or 6,
It
which
can
is no
normalize
longer
it.
diabetic, but it will bring your A1C to healthy levels.
Yeah,
Mine
and
was,
I think I heard Dr. Westman say that weeks, less like it was less than a month that his patients, if they follow it and they do his prescriptive diet. Now of course, he does medical nutrition therapy, and
yes,
he's and they have a very strict protocol. If you follow that within weeks, like a lot of their patients are getting completely off of insulin. Um, and I think that that's pretty spectacular. Like, could you imagine
I think,
going in like 100 units? And I saw that Dr. Tro recently put out a thing. It was like, I had a patient that got off of 2,000 units of insulin a month. 2,000 units of insulin a month. And with a ketogenic diet through their company, because it's a medical company. You sign up, you get medical, you get to see
so
Dr.
that's
Laura
like 70
Buchanan.
units a day.
But it's like over
My
2,000
friend,
units
I have a friend, and she was on 300 units of insulin. She got off.
a
She
day.
was on an insulin pump. Actually,
Oh,
you can listen to her story. It's on my
is
YouTube channel, Tia Reed.
is it Tia? She
Um,
works with Dr. Tro.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
and it's like I'm flabbergasted. It's called career
Um,
goals right there, career
I
goals for
know.
me.
So Dr. Westman said he had patients reverse fatty liver within days,
Mhm,
and my A1C was 8.5. It's now 5.2. So,
mhm.
well, I was diabetic, and I'm no longer type 2 diabetic. I'm not only not no longer type 2 diabetic, but my A1C is healthy. So,
Yeah.
yes, it can, if all your family has it, it is not a sentence. You decide what you eat, you decide what you put in your mouth, or like Bart K says, stop pouring carbs down your neck.
Yeah, I
And
know. Sorry, my hair is driving me nuts, guys. I cannot stand to have it down anymore. I'm getting old.
my dog is
It's
driving me nuts because she wants out, but I'm not gonna get up now. Okay, so Rush says, no, I'm not joking. I'm still, is it about the 500? What?
what is it?
The 500 drops. I don't know. I gotta
The
um
700. I take a drive. Oh, I think iodine can cause detox symptoms, which maybe, Marsha, maybe.
oh, hey Donna. Donna's a good question. How do you know if you need iodine? The question is, everyone needs iodine.
Yeah,
Every cell
everybody.
in the body needs iodine. Dr. Berry says if you had a magnet that pulled out all the iodine at once, you would just fall over and be dead. And how do you know if you need to supplement iodine? My opinion, if you don't eat foods rich in iodine, you
Mhm.
need to supplement.
Yeah.
But to be sure, just check with ownyourlabs.com. I'm just going to put
Mhm.
that link into the comment.
Yeah, and please remember, Dr. Berry has a code for Own Your Labs. It is Dr. Berry, DRBERRY. Put that in and then add in another code, CSD, that stands for Citizen Science Discount. You do that, you get 15% off. It is combinable. The link was broken, but I reached out to Siobhan and was like, hey, people are having problems. And it was a website update and it broke the ability
Oh,
to use them. So she fixed it. So it is usable for in conjunction and you can get 15% off.
yes. And so I put the link in the comments and then you use those codes. Um, I Rush this. I take a drop of. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I
That
think it
sounds a
just depends.
lot.
It depends on people. Like Dr. Brownstein, I think is like he recommends like 50 a day, 50 milligrams. I can't go that high. Like I start feeling it. I literally will start feeling it in my thyroid once it gets up too high. I will feel it start to swell. And
Oh,
so I'm like,
okay. That's a good
so I'm
indicator.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, because I'm one of those lovely people with Hashis that actually gets the swelling. And I was like, ooh, I should probably back off because I was taking 12.5. Started cutting them in half and that leveled out and went away. So I was like, oh, yay, we found my dose. Um,
All righty. So Jerica says, I'm oxidant dumping today. Week 6 on carnivore, random welt on hand, blisters on fingers, stomach pain, drank black tea to help. Any suggestions? I think black tea is like on the no-no list, isn't it? For
yeah, but if
oxalates?
they suggest that if you're oxalate dumping, I've seen other people suggest this that if you go completely off of oxalates and you start dumping a whole bunch of them, then they say to add something back in a little bit just to offset the dumping. Um, I don't know where I stand on oxalates because I have not studied them enough. That is one area I am severely deficient in. If you're in the PhD community,
Talk to
uh,
Paola. Coach
Yeah,
Paola.
talk to Coach Paola. She is absolutely the expert in our group
I think we
on
need to do another
oxalates.
live.
You and
I
her?
think yes, or
Yeah.
all three of us.
Oh gosh,
I'm
we could go for hours though if all three of us got together. Shoot,
I'm
just
gonna
two of us
have to
together could
mute
go for
myself
hours.
for a second because I need to call my son to take Molly off my.
Off your hands. So how's it going? Where are you watching from? We're going to pull a Dr. Barry right now. Put in the comments where you're watching from. Hey, Lloyd, where is that carnivore cruise? What carnivore cruise is that? I know the low carb cruise, but that one's in
All right. So the thing
May of
is,
next
I
year.
just noticed no one's home. I have to let her out, so I'm going to turn off my camera and my mic. You can't see the chat, right?
I can see the chat.
All right. So
I just can't
Karen.
put them up on the screen.
Okay, so that's the next one. I'm just gonna tap out for a moment.
Okay. I stopped my iodine due to wonky thyroid labs, went back on, but not sure if I need more. I was taking 2 drops daily. Okay, so wonky, it can cause wonky labs, which is why you should, I think people should test. I am a bad person because I am not following my own advice. But you can get the serum levels. I've heard they're decently accurate, but the most accurate is doing the 24-hour urine test. Oh, is Paola here? Oh, she is here. Paola is the oxalate queen. She knows all about them.
All right, sorry about that.
Coach Paola is in the comments, by the way. So if anybody
Oh,
wants to reach
perfect.
out to her, yep.
And all right. What else do I
All
see? Okay,
right.
so the dog didn't want to go out. The dog wanted to be fed, but now she needs to wait.
No, she can wait. My husband went
Yes.
to pick up our dogs today.
Ooh, okay. So Paola said a few of people on both sides of my family have died from diabetes and its complications. I was pre-diabetic and very badly insulin resistant for 8 years. I now have no diabetes or insulin resistance. Yeah, and that's how it
Mhm.
works. If you eat a proper human diet, many diets can keep you healthy, but once you are unhealthy, metabolically sick, your liver's compromised, you're insulin resistant, then the ketogenic diet is just best. And I mean, carnivore is keto on steroids.
It is, yeah. I love that. I get so irritated. I get so irritated when people are like, "Are you keto or are you carnivore?" I'm like, um,
I'm on the proper human
both.
diet. Mhm.
I'm both because I eat high fat, which keeps me in ketosis.
I had an interesting conversation with a doctor for the Kick Sugar Summit, and he said that people in menopause, I
Mhm,
mean, not people, women in menopause,
mhm.
post-menopause, should actually dial down their fat. Um, it's
What was
not
this?
low fat because you still need all the energy, but when they have problems losing weight, they should up the protein and lower the fat. Now, I've heard different things from Amber O'Hearn about
Mhm.
teaching the body to use fat as a fuel source, but many people, the fat threshold just goes down when they go with the hormonal shifts. It has to do with those hormones.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd have to like I just think that people before they dial down the fat, before they're like, "Oh, well, I'm carnivore and now I've hit menopause, now I've got to go on the low fat diet." I think
Oh
you
no,
need to make
no, no,
sure
not
that
low fat.
not low fat, but low lower because, oh,
High
I'm holding on
protein,
to
water
5
intake.
extra. Yeah, like holding on to some extra. I want to see their thyroid labs and I want to see their, no, I do not want to see them because I am not a doctor. However, I think that they should get their thyroid labs, done and also check their insulin levels because thyroid affects all that too.
It does. So Amy has a question. I think my biological grandmother had diabetes, and my biological aunt
Aunt, yep.
also. Yeah, I think it depends where you live. Just wondering about that loaded gun. I A1C tested once, I think, was very normal, but after RNI,
The ruin
it
why.
caused
Yeah.
it caused reactive hypoglycemia. What is RNY?
The ruin why it's a type of gastric bypass surgery.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Usually that doesn't that fix diabetes in most people?
no. No, I know a couple people that were diabetic and they got gastric bypass and they're still diabetic and it's
Yeah, I never understood how, but the person I talked to said like, yeah, apparently they're not. The
yeah.
reactive
The
hypoglycemia.
reactive hypoglycemia is they're just dumping too much insulin. It's like their body gets all wonky.
Usually, when the body is used to higher glucose levels, elevated glucose levels, it
Mhm,
doesn't see it as an emergency. It's just like, well, we're going to drive around, let's say 120, 130.
mhm.
And then that person eats carbs, a pizza, and it goes up to 180. And then the body thinks, oh, wait, okay, now it's an emergency. So I'm going to dump all the insulin I have. And then they crash down to 80, which is maybe even hypoglycemic, but they will feel it as being hypoglycemic.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any scholarly. Yeah, apparently, yeah, post bariatric surgery, hypoglycemia. There's a lot of stuff written about it. I'm not going to sit here and read a bunch of articles to everybody, but there apparently it is a problem with gastric bypass patients that they have uh, reactive hypoglycemia. I mean, you're changing the literal, form of your anatomy. You're removing a very large portion of your stomach. You're attaching that and bypassing the small intestines, um, which is where most of your nutrients uh, are absorbed. So, I mean, I can see where there would be a problem because you're not absorbing. So, if you're not absorbing things, your body tastes it. So, let's say you ate a donut and it tastes it, but it's going through your system so fast that it's not absorbing. There's a good chance that you would dump too much. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's
that
just
could be
me.
the.
That's me postulating. I'm just sitting here like thinking about, what could happen. I mean, I'm sure other people know exactly what does happen.
And there's also deficiencies down the road, and these
Yeah.
deficiencies cause other health problems. So
Yeah.
I was on the wait list for that surgery. Not that, and it's just
Mhm.
that stomach stapling. And
Okay.
I found the PhD diet
Yeah.
before I was scheduled.
Yeah. I had somebody in my nursing class, they were like, hey, she was a type 1 diabetic and she was like very obese. And she was like, um, I have to do gastric bypass. I'm not like you. I can't just stop eating carbs. I'm like, that's a choice, and
Choose your heart.
it's, I won't give my, I'll stop my opinion.
No,
Can you
actually,
spell the,
this thing. Okay,
I'm
just
going
one
to put it
thing.
in the comments for
Good
Wendy.
idea. So when I go to diabetes groups and they say cake is life, they are choosing the cake, like something you have in your mouth for not 5, like for a short, you swallow it and it's gone. You eat a cake in 5, 10 minutes and it's gone. My definition of life, not 5 years ago, but now, is being mobile, being able to travel, enjoying life. Enjoying life. I'm not enjoying life when I eat a cake. I enjoy life when I can be out and about, meet people,
Oh my gosh,
play
yes.
with hopefully grandkids soon. Wink, wink. So,
You like telling your
um,
kids like,
yeah, they're not watching anyway, so yeah,
I
right.
need one. I need one. Yeah.
But I don't get it. You can choose your heart now, and the heart would be eating a good diet, which
I
I don't even
saw
think is that hard.
It's not that hard.
Or you
I
can
saw a
have
great meme today.
legs.
I saw a great meme, t not a meme, but like a illustration today, and it
Into
had
the iPhone.
it was it was like a split, okay,
Oh,
and on one side, this guy was super muscular and fit, and he's like, "Huh," and then on the other side, obese and roly-poly and just sickly, and on this side, it said, "Suffer or suffer." So meaning like, choose your hard. You have
yeah.
to choose your hard, and are you gonna choose to eat real, whole, sustainable foods, and lift heavy things and move your body, or are you gonna choose to, like, just kick the can down the road, and you're just gonna, like, suffer later? Life's
I made a
short, go
meme.
ziplining, go do what I did and go whitewater rafting at the age of 43. I wouldn't have
When
been
I
able
see
to do
you,
that.
I'll do that zip lining. So I made
I
a
know.
meme
It'd be fun.
where an exercise on one side, and then there's a healthy food on the other side. Choose your
Mhm,
heart. And on the bottom, you have
mhm,
someone with an amputated leg, someone like sitting in bed because they're bedridden, someone blind. All these complications, they are real. And
mhm.
I don't know if anyone, well, there were not many people watching yesterday when I had the premiere with Jeff Sear, but he explained
Uh-huh.
the polio pathway, which
I need
interests me.
to I need to go watch that. I was not able to do that.
Yeah, he added a comment that kind of like puts it in like 4 paragraphs or so, explaining it exactly. But what happens is if your sugar is over 126, then the
Mhm.
polio pathway is activated. And what it does is it turns 30% of glucose that you have in your body, like too much in your body, it turns that into fructose. So that's like the liver has to deal with the glucose and it has to deal with all the fructose that's endogenous. So it's a double whammy. It's
It is.
and this is what causes retinopathy,
Mhm.
neuropathy, and kidney disease. And I think there was a fourth one, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna show you
So,
everybody will get to see this. I'm gonna choose your hard.
yep.
Choo choose it. That was my dad. That's my dad's foot. That's the day before he pulled the plug. He went septic. Choose your hard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just realities.
It is a like short-sighted view to think that enjoying cake
Mhm.
is what life is about. Uh, I get these things. I'm going to talk about that also at Low Carb for Better Health in 2 weeks in Burns, Tennessee. Sugar addiction.
I wish that I
Sugar
could
addiction
be
is hard.
there. That's
Oh
the
my gosh, I
weekend. My
know.
kid my kids start school on Monday after that. So there was no way that we'd be able to do that and get home and get them at their first day of school. I was like, "Dang it."
Marsha says, I'm reading 2 books about iodine right now, Dr. Brownstein and Lynn Farrow, and
Mhm.
they talk about detox symptoms. Yeah, detox symptoms from taking iodine. Interesting.
Ooh, I've got so many books I'm reading right now though. I can't add another one right now. I can't. I have an iodine book a thyroid book that I need to go and figure out why Amazon will not deliver it. Oh, hey,
Yeah,
Alyssa's here.
awesome. Alyssa, so Paola, Alyssa, Bekah and
Marsha.
I, and Marsha, we are
Yeah.
all coaches in the Dr. Berry community, which
Which
is
will be
so
back
awesome.
online for people to join in
Yeah, once
September-ish.
everything,
Right now, it's right now it's at a halt because we're doing some
yeah.
maintenance on the back end.
But everyone that's in it right now,
Mhm.
it's business
It's
as
still
usual.
working, yeah.
I wanted to add one thing about Own Your Labs. If you're in Canada, you can't use it in Canada. But if you live close to the border, you can go to, like myself, I am in New Brunswick. I go to Bangor for simple blood tests, and I go to Portsmouth in New Hampshire for more extensive blood tests, like an NMR test.
Mm.
And so that's an option. You can cross the border as a Canadian. You can go there and have it done. I
Except
think
I know
this,
it's not is well, New York is not one of the states
yeah,
that
New York, and even if you live in New York, you cannot go to a neighboring state and have it done there. So they are just out of luck.
Yep. New
Legislation, I
York's
don't
out of
know.
luck for so many things. I don't know why people choose to live there.
Yeah,
No
so
offense to New
Canadians are
Yorkers.
luckier. Okay, I think there were a few questions about the code. But
I did put him
Rebecca
in
put it
the
down there.
comments, yes.
Yeah, now the Jen says Northeast Ohio. Donna is from Woodstock, New Brunswick. That's in my neighborhood. Hey, Donna. And I lost it again. There, Tina is from Supply, North Carolina. Dennis is from Goose Creek. Well, okay, I can't read them all. There's so many. Etsy is in her car.
Oh, yeah, Janet Reed is from Tacoma, Washington. I just moved from there last year.
Okay, Dennis has a question. How do you know if you're
Oh.
insulin resistant? That's an excellent question.
Yes, it is. You can do a HOMO-IR score. And I think Roxana actually on her website has a calculator, don't you?
Yes, I'm gonna look it up right here.
Yeah. It's pretty you just have to you just have to know your numbers and then plug them into the calculator and it'll give you a score. You can have I think on Own Your Labs, I think you have the option to put that in as a test and then they calculate it for you, but you can do your own. It's it's
Well,
it's
yeah, they have it then this NMR test, and it gives you a lipid insulin resistance
This
score.
is yes.
Yeah, it's a
So
different
yeah,
score. So
yeah,
this one is the HOMA IR calculator that I just put in the links in the
right.
chat. There's also a HOMA IR, a HOMA 2 IR. That's a little software that you download for your computer. It's available for PC and for Mac, and you plug in your numbers. It's a little more. It tells you also about the how efficient your islet cells are to produce insulin,
Mhm.
and it's a little more sophisticated, but it's also a little harder to analyze. Um,
Yeah.
so you know if you're insulin resistant. If you have diabetes, you are definitely insulin resistant. If you have skin tags or the darker skin, or if you start gaining weight, those are all signs, early signs of insulin resistance. If your insulin levels are really, really high and you can have them measured, for example, at Own Your Labs, you're insulin resistant. Insulin resistant, and I had a chat about that with Bart K, is a construct because he says it's not a pathology. He says the cells are shutting down and not accepting anymore is what they do to protect themselves. And more insulin is just going to
Mhm.
stuff them more with sugar, which then damages the cells. So there's that argument too. But I think the way to go still is to lower insulin by eating fewer carbs
Eating
and
properly.
eating less
Yeah.
often.
Well, and I think that if you have thyroid problems, especially if you are hypothyroid, you are automatically like insulin resistant. And it's a very and I read that in a study. So just yeah, I read that in a study. I don't know 100% like how accurate that is, but it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of there's glucose metabolism issues, there's fat metabolism issues, and your fat cells have 70% more insulin receptors if you are undertreated hypothyroid. So it makes a lot of sense that, you know,
I think you need to put the codes one more time into the chat box. Okay, in the meantime, Karen says, I was told by someone today I was hypercarnivore. What? Just because I add pork rinds and a bit of cheese? So, hypercarnivore is actually the definition if more than 70%
70%
of your diet is meat, like animal
or
products.
animal
So
products. Yeah.
you can
So
actually eat like a few berries, you can eat, I don't know, a sweet potato and still be
we're
hypercarnivore.
carnivore.
It is the definition of a species appropriate diet for humans. Cows eat grass, humans eat meat and supplement with seasonal products or starvation foods. Grains are certainly not on the spectrum of a proper human diet. And the fun fact also, grains, the fiber in grains that they hail like, ooh, so much fiber, the body can't use it. We can't use it, and our gut microbiome can't use it. It's waste. It just bulks up the stool. And it causes constipation too. So you want to lay off the grains.
Fiber's horrible.
Yeah. So Paola says, oh, but here, I have a confession to make. I've been strict lion diet for almost 8 or 9 weeks. And 2 days ago, I thought I have to eat nuts. I was feeling unwell, and I had this sudden thing, I need to eat nuts. So I ate a handful of cashews, and I felt better. And it
What
wasn't
that's interesting. I wonder why.
I don't know. I kind of like, I
Selenium,
thought
is there selenium in it? I wonder if there's selenium in it. I know that there's selenium, I think, in Brazil nuts.
I would have opted for Brazil nuts if I had
Mhm,
any, but the
mhm.
only nuts we had, and I think they aren't even nuts, they're legumes, were cashews.
But yes.
So I ate them, but I did feel better. I don't know what it was. It was just I wasn't feeling well. And it was
But
not
you
the carb craving. It wasn't because
No,
I
it
I
was a
stopped eating them again.
specific.
It
That
was
was very
very specific.
specific.
Yeah.
I think that we like, okay, if it's a carb, like a sugar and stuff, disregard this statement. But if you are sitting there and you're like, man, I've been hypercarnivore, 100%, I've been lion diet, whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, man, broccoli sounds like it would be amazing. Eat some broccoli because it might be the calcium in the broccoli that you need for some reason, and your body's just like, I know that this is where we get it. This is what I'm going to crave. Like, so it's not going to kill you to eat the broccoli. Like, broccoli is
Yeah,
not what
and
is making people
now
die. I promise.
I feel content. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling well, and then okay. So Paola says the way gastric bypass sort of improves diabetes is by reducing their
Caloric
caloric intake
intake.
significantly. Yeah, that
Mhm.
could be because
Yep.
one way to reduce or reverse diabetes is actually to go on a very low calorie diet.
Movie
It
diet.
will reverse diabetes.
Because eventually you're
It's
going to
not
go into fat
sustainable.
burning. Because
Yeah.
eventually you're going to starve to death, like, and then go into fat
No,
burning mode. Yeah.
yeah, actually, they go into ketosis, even though they eat carbs, but it's
Yep.
not sustainable. You can reverse diabetes by eating rice, only rice, no fat. But that
Mhm.
also is not sustainable because it will put you in many deficiencies. I mean, protein is vital, fat is
Yeah.
vital, and
Yeah.
you cannot survive on rice. You can't even
You can't
survive
you
on
can
chicken.
survive on it for a certain amount of time, and I think that it also would depend on I would say that it would depend also on your genetics. I say that, like, now this is just from looking at, like, there are certain countries, um, like in World War II. I'm hoping my husband isn't watching and I'm butchering this because he will make fun of me later. But
Mm,
they would eat rice balls. Like, that's all they had. They would have a ball of rice and that was their ration for the day. And those rice balls, that's what sustained them. But like that sustained them, that's short term. I mean, they can't survive off that for years and years and years and years and years. But, it can sustain you for a certain amount of time.
Yes, but for a certain amount of time. It's not in rice. You don't have enough protein and you don't have enough fatty acids. So people cannot survive on rice. People cannot even survive on chicken or on rabbit because
No,
there's too little
starvation.
fat in it. Yes, they will
Yeah,
starve.
they will.
Okay, so Amy says,
Was known to be the fixer for
yeah, you
diabetes.
read that.
Yep. Well, Roux-en-Y was known to be the fixer for diabetes. It worked for lots of people until they gained the weight back. Yeah, because they usually stretch out their stomachs and then carnivore has fixed my reactive hypoglycemia almost. Yep, it will. It happens with or without carbs at times. Yes.
Okay, Donna
Yes.
has a question.
Yes,
Can a
yes,
person
and more yes.
Okay, you answered the question. Can a person get neuropathy with a 5.8 blood sugar?
Yes,
So,
and I think it was Dr. Berry that was talking about the studies on this, is that it's like, which is why the ADS is so important, guys. Plug in the American Diabetes Society that Dr. Berry and some other fantastic physicians are undertaking this huge deal.
Tony
But
Hampton, Eric Westman, Michelle Hearn,
Ben Bickman,
Ben Bickman.
Temple is her last name, Stewart, Temple Stewart. She's a registered dietitian. She's absolutely gorgeous, cute little thing. Knows a lot about thyroid. Heard her at KetoCon. She's absolutely one of the most lovely people I think I've ever met in my life. Just FYI. So I think that they were the ones that were talking about, or is Dr. Berry, that he quoted saying there's studies that have shown that just being pre-diabetic at 5.7, the damage has already started.
Yeah,
The
so
damage has
5.8
already started.
blood sugar correlates with an A1C of 5.3, and it's in milligrams, it's 100.
Well, is Donna, is she talking about blood sugar, or is she talking
Yeah,
about
she says blood sugar, but I
A1C?
think it's the A1C. So the A1C of 5.8 is pre-diabetic, but you also have to see that insulin is doing damage too. So
Yep.
at 5.8, the insulin is already elevated. And it's not being able, it's so high and still not being able to control the blood sugar or the A1C.
I'm looking
And
to see if
Donna,
we are so far behind. Okay. I was looking to
you're
see if
not
she
too
said
far
anything
behind.
about it. If it's an A1, if you're talking about A1C, then yes, the damage has already started. But I still want to know their insulin too. But yeah, which pile I put in there? Yeah, also depending on their fasting insulin levels. Exactly. Because you could have like an A1C of 5.3, looking great here, people. And then you go get your insulin checked and it's at 60.
Yes, because the insulin is still controlling the blood sugar.
Yep.
But you can also have an A1C of 5.3 and have morning glucose levels of, I don't know, 120, 130, and they then come down. So that's just an average. It's
Yeah.
however it's glycating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dennis knows this about me. My fasting blood sugars in the morning. Today was 98. I was actually pretty impressed. Mine is usually around 110, 110, 112. My A1C is 5.
You gotta
So.
get that down. Ellen
Huh?
says, my favorite meme is the 80-something folks with a split screen of one side taking care of their life with what would be equivalent to PhD life, and the other side being taken care of by others.
Yeah, somebody used
That's
Maggie.
strong.
Somebody used Maggie and then used like a little old lady in a wheelchair, and it was like both these people are 83 years old. Choose. Like, and I'm like, ooh, so true. Most of my patients are like old and frail. in their 70s.
Yeah. Barbara says TS and T4 good, or TSH.
TSH.
Yeah, and T4 good, T3 very low solution. Okay, so that's my
That means you're
TSH
not
was
converting
good.
T4.
My T4 was good. My T3 was, I think, too yeah.
Your
Talk to your
T3 was
doctor.
too low, is what you told me.
Yeah, you might need to supplement T3.
Yeah,
Talk to your doctor.
T3 either with something, depending on where you are, Barbara. You could switch to desiccated, which does have all of the T hormones in it. So T1, 2, 3, 4, all those things. And that way you'll have the T3 replaced also. Or if you're on levothyroxine, they can add a T3 supplement like Cytomel. If you're not on something, you might ask them if you are symptomatic. It's all about, are you symptomatic? And when you say TSH is good, like that could be anything. But if your T3 is low, you're still subclinical. That is still subclinical hypothyroid. So I would talk to your doctor if you have symptoms.
I would also check the antibodies.
And reverse T3.
And reverse T3, yes.
Mm-hmm. Despite what my doctor says, reverse T3 actually is a thing. And
yeah, it
something.
Is. And Amy Berger talked about that. So, and the other thing is T4 is good is also a statement where there's a range, and if it's in the lower range, it could be good as far as the range goes, but it could not be good for you.
For you, yeah.
Most people want their T4 to be in the upper range to actually feel good.
I think even Dr. Berry in his book says you need to be in that upper third of that range. I think it's what he said.
I'm going to find Amy Berger wrote a book, The Stall Slayer.
Amy Berger has an excellent thyroid presentation that she did at one of the low carb conferences either last year, I think it was.
Yes. I heard
was
it.
Yeah, it was so good, guys. I was just like mind blown. Like
she's really smart.
She's so smart.
So she wrote a book. It's called The Stall Slayer. And one of the chapters is about the thyroid. And I just put the link into the description. That chapter is on my blog, and you can read it. It talks about just what we said. Donna says, could CLL cause neuropathy?
Please, somebody tell me what CLL is. I need CLL.
So if that is a medication, maybe, or a treatment, there are medications that can cause neuropathy, but
I just don't know what CLL is, and I probably should know.
Oh yeah, we're doing the Dr. Berry live warm-up show. Okay, Dr. Berry's actually live, I think now. He just went live.
Or he's getting ready. Did he just go live?
Oh,
it's okay.
He's getting ready. I'm not sure if he's done. So I'm just going to scan the comments if there is something.
Dennis. Sorry, Dennis. I just read your comment. I get copper naturally from metal flakes. If I fast, I get sugar drops. Yeah. Most time I fast, I recover with protein. No other way to recover. Yeah. Just, recover with protein.
Bone broth is excellent after a fast.
Yep. Karen Harrington says, oh, doctors don't get low free T3. No, my guy says he's an endocrinologist, and he's like, your T3 is fine if your TSH is fine. I'm like, you're nuts. I've seen this happen. I was accused of eating carbs when I had maybe 4 carbs a day. Pre-carnivore, if I eat more than 20 carbs, I had a sugar drop quickly to the... Wow. That's crazy, Amy.
You're very sensitive to carbs.
You're very sensitive to carbs.
Metal flakes is that a carnivore cereal? Ah. All right. So we did a few more minutes because we were late because of these technical issues, but people
Yep.
are now flocking to Dr. Berry, and they should.
And they should. It is his public live day.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need
That's
y'all
why
to always show up in the
definitely.
comments there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna say bye for today. I think we should do a repeat because this is fun.
Yes, I am up for as many as you want to do, and until October, and then in October I start back in my classes, and then I'll scale back. I know it sucks, but I will have to scale back some. I've got to
Alrighty. Thanks
pass my
for hanging
classes. I got goals.
out. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, and we're gonna see you soon.
Bye, guys. Mwah.
Bye-bye.